This hint is going to explain a typical numerical problem utilizing the multiplier model. So let's just read the question together. You've been appointed chair of the Council of Economic Advisors in Cloudy Land. Your research assistant says, and this is the national income is $200 million. The MPE, or the marginal propensity to expend, is 0.75, or 3/4. And the president wants to lower unemployment from 8 to 6%. Now we're going to need to use Okun's rule of thumb in this problem. And Okun's rule of thumb is that a 1% rise in the unemployment rate is associated with approximately a 2% fall in output, or GDP, and vice versa. So a 2% decline in unemployment would be associated with approximately a 4% fall in output in this problem. So we'll be using that. So the question is asking you what you recommend in terms of economic policy, and you're told to round to the nearest $100,000. All right, so let's approach this problem and see what we're going to want to calculate. First of all, we would like to know what is our target change in GDP. We know that we're starting out at 200 million, and we know we want to lower unemployment from 8 to 6, which is a decline of 2 points, as we've said, which means that we're going to have a 4% increase in output, or GDP. So we will take our 4% times our current level of national income, output, GDP, which is $200 million, and we will find that 4% of that is 8 million, okay? So 8 million is our target change in GDP. In this case, it's going to be or output. In this case, it's a plus, right? We want to increase income by $8 million in order to lower that unemployment rate by 2%. So you might think, let's just go ahead and increase government spending by $8 million. That's what our target change in output is, right? Wrong, because if you do this, you will way overshoot the change in income because of the existence of the multiplier. So what we want to do next is to calculate the multiplier. So we have 8 million is your target change in income. And now we will calculate the multiplier. And we know that the multiplier is equal to 1 over 1 minus the marginal propensity to expend, the MPE. We have been told that the MPE is 0.75, or 3/4. 1 over 1 minus 0.75 is 1 over 0.25, which is 1 over 1/4, which is 4. Okay, so we know our multiplier is 4. Now we use this multiplier to arrive at how much our change in government spending should be. Well, it's going to be the target change in income of $8 million divided by the multiplier. Okay, so it's 8 million divided by 4, so it's $2 million. Okay, that is the amount of additional government spending that would go into output, be multiplied by a factor of 4, and then become the $8 million target change in income that we are seeking. So now comes the hardest part of this question, which is, let's say we want to do this by tax policy. We want to decrease taxes and put money in the hands of people so that they will go out and spend. Now, how much do they need to spend? We just figured out. We need spending to be increased by $2 million. That's what we need to happen. Well, if we decrease taxes by $2 million, which might be your first thought, that's not going to work because people do not spend all of their income. And a reduction in taxes is like an increase in income, and it will not all be spent. Therefore, we need to divide this $2 million target spending increase that we wish to have by the marginal propensity to expend, this 0.75. And when we do that, you should get, rounding to the nearest 100,000, 2.667, it's really 2.6666666, etc., right? $1 million. Okay, so $2 2/3 million. Now let's look at this one more way. If we have, so this is the change in T equals, and this is going to be a minus, okay? So we want to have a reduction in taxes by this amount. So let's say we have our reduced taxes of $2.667 million, right? And people receive that as an additional disposable income. So this change in T here is also equal to a change in disposable income, okay, essentially. And when people receive this $2.667 million, they save part of it and they spend the rest. So we're going to multiply this times the MPE, which is 0.75. Label that MPE. Okay. And then we will arrive at the actual change in spending, or $2 million change in spending, which goes into the national income and is multiplied by a factor of 4, as we have discussed previously, to become 2 times 4 is $8 million. And this is our target level of change in GDP, or output. So here's our final answer, that we recommend that we either raise government spending by $2 million or decrease taxes by $2.667 million. And just for your reference, here is an explanation of what we did. Target increase in income, 4% of current income. 2% decline in unemployment times 2 from Okun's rule. 0.04 times 200 is 8 million. Multiplier is 4, 1 over 1 minus the MPE. So the increase in G needs to be that 8 million divided by the multiplier of 4, or 2 million. And the decrease in taxes would need to be that $2 million divided by the MPE 0.75, or $2.667 million. So this completes our explanation of this problem.